What's up? Welcome back. Today we are in chapter 6 of John, and the title of that text is Jesus is the true bread from heaven, starting in verse 1. After these things, Jesus went over to the Sea of Galilee, which is the Sea of Tiberias, and the great verse 1. After these things again indicates the passing of the indefinite period of time. Half a year may have passed since the previous events. Sea of Tiberias was an alternate name for the Sea of Galilee. Herod Antipas founded Tiberias, the largest city on the Sea of Galilee, in honor of his patron, the Roman Emperor Tiberius. And a great multitude followed him, because they saw his miracles which he did on them that were diseased. And Jesus went up into the mountain, and there he sat with his disciples. In the verse 3, mountain may not refer to a specific mountain. It could designate the hill country east of the lake, known today as the Golan Heights in Matthew 14:23. And the Passover, a feast of the Jews, was nigh. When verse 4. This is the second of 3 Passover mentioned by John, and the only one Jesus spent in Galilee. When Jesus then lifted up his eyes and saw a great company come unto him, he said unto Philip, Whence shall we buy bread that these may eat? And this he said to prove him, for he himself knew what he would do. Philip, verse 5 through 6. The crowd apparently walked several miles around the north side of the lake and caught up with Jesus and his disciples. Philip would be the natural choice for Jesus' question, since he, like Andrew and Peter, was a native of nearby Bethsaida. Jesus' question echoes Moses' query in the wilderness, When should I have flesh to give unto all this people? In Numbers 11:13. Philip answered him, 200 pennyworth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. Verse 7. A penny was literally a denarius. 200 would be roughly 8 months' wages for a common laborer. In Matthew 22. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto him, There is a lad here which has 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes. But what are they among so many people? Verse 8 through 9. Lad may refer to a child, a teenager, or even someone in his early 20s. The same word is used to refer to young Joseph in Genesis 37:30. Barley was common food for the poor. The well-to-do preferred wheat bread. The fishes were probably dried or preserved, perhaps pickled. In a similar account, Elisha fed 100 men with 20 barley loaves in 2 Kings 4:42 through 44 people. And Jesus said, Make the men sit down. Now there was much grass in the place, so the men sat down in number about 5,000. And verse 10. The men numbered about 5,000 plus women and children in Matthew 14:21, totaling perhaps as many as 15,000 people. Mark mentioned that the much grass is green, which points to springtime in Mark 6:39 through 40. And Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were sat down, and likewise of the fishes, as much as they would. When they were filled, he said unto his disciples, Gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Therefore they gathered them together, and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. Verse 13. The number of baskets may allude to Jesus' symbolic restoration of the 12 tribes of Israel. Then those men, when they had seen the miracle that Jesus did, said, This is of a truth that prophet that should come into the world. Verse 14. The reference to the prophet alludes to Deuteronomy 18:15. When Jesus therefore perceived that they would come and take him by force to make him a king, he departed again into a mountain himself alone. Verse 16 through 24. Jesus' walk across the Sea of Galilee may echo Job 9:8 in the Septuagint, an ancient Greek translation of the Old Testament abbreviated LXX, where God is said to walk on water. And when even was now come, his disciples went down unto the sea, and entered into a ship, and went over the sea towards Capernaum. And it was now dark, and Jesus was not come to them. And the sea arose by reason of a great wind that blew. So when they had rowed about 25 or 30 furlongs, they see Jesus walking on the sea and drawing nigh unto the ship. And they were afraid. But he said, verse 19, they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, since the feeding of the crowd occurred on the eastern shore. The shortest distance to Capernaum would have been 5 to 6 miles. But he said unto them, it is I, be not afraid. Then, verse 20, it is I may have overtones of epiphany. The statement may allude to Psalm 77:16, describing God's manifestation to Israel during the Exodus. Then they willingly received him into the ship, and immediately the ship was at the land whither they went. Verse 21. The reference to the boat reaching the shore immediately may allude to Psalms 107:23 through 32. The day following, when the people which stood on the other side of the sea saw that there was none other boat there, save that one whereinto his disciples were entered, and that Jesus went not with his disciples into the boat, but that his disciples were gone away alone. Howbeit there came other boats from Tiberias nigh unto the place where they did eat bread, after that the Lord had given thanks. When the people therefore saw that Jesus was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping and came to Capernaum seeking for Jesus. Verse 23 through 24. Tiberias was as the chief city of the western side of the lake, whereas Capernaum was located on the northwestern edge of the lake. Tiberias is several miles to the south. And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when camest thou hither? Verse 25. The other side of the sea refers to the area in around Capernaum. Jesus answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for the meat which endureth into everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you, for him has God the Father sealed. Then said they unto him, What shall we do that we might work the works of God? Verse 27 through 29. People misunderstood Jesus' statement and asked about the works God required. Jesus said the only work required by God is faith in Messiah. Jesus answered and said unto them, This is the work of God, that ye believe on him whom he has sent. They said therefore unto him, What sign showest thou then, that we may see and believe thee? What does thou work? Verse 30. The people demanded a sign as evidence of Jesus' claim. Jesus pointed to the significance of the sign he had just performed, the feeding of the crowd. This revealed people's stubbornness. Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. Then verse 31. The Old Testament reference seems to involve several passages, with Psalm 78:23 through 24 being most prominent, and Exodus 16:4. Then Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world. Then said they unto him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. And Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I verse 35 and 48. I am the bread of life is the first of Jesus' 7 I am sayings in John. Subsequently, he said he is the light of the world, the door of the sheep, the good shepherd, the resurrection and the life, the way, the truth, and the life, and the true vine. Apart from these sayings, there are statements where Jesus referred to himself as I am, a clear allusion to God's identification as I am in Exodus 3:14. But I said unto you that ye also have seen me and believe not. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. And this is the Father's will which has sent me, that of all which he has given me I should lose nothing, but should raise it up again at the last day. And this is the will of him that sent me, that everyone which seeth the Son and believeth on him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day. The Jews then murmured at him, because he said, I am the bread which came down from heaven. And they said, Is this not Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How is it that he says, I came down from heaven? Jesus therefore answered and said unto them, Murmur not among yourselves. No. Verse 41 and 43. The references to the murmuring of the Jews highlighted the parallel between Jews in Jesus' day and wilderness Israel in Exodus 16:2. The Israelites complained about the first giver of bread, Moses. Now they griped against the second giver, Jesus. Yourselves, no man can come to me except the Father, which has sent me, draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. It is written in the prophets, and they shall be all taught of God. Every man therefore that heard him has learned of the Father, cometh unto me. Not that any man has seen the Father, save he which is of God, he has seen the Father. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me has everlasting life. I am that bread of life. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness, and are dead. This is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. The Jews therefore strove among themselves, saying, How can this man give us his flesh to eat? Then verse 47 through 52. Jesus contrasted the manna in the wilderness and the bread from heaven. Only the latter can provide everlasting life. Jesus' flesh refers to his body on the cross given for sin. Such talk raised questions for his audience. Then Jesus said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except ye eat the flesh of the Son of Man, and drink his blood, ye have no life in you. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood dwelleth in me, and I in him. As the living Father has sent me, and I live by the Father, so he that eateth me, even he shall live by me. This is that bread which came down from heaven, not as your fathers did eat manna, and are dead. He that eateth of this bread shall live forever. These things said he in the synagogue, as he taught in Capernaum. Verse 53 through 59. The Hebrew idiom flesh and blood refers to the total person, so Jesus is insisting on complete commitment to him. Many therefore of his disciples, when they had heard this, said, This is a hard saying, who can hear it? When Jesus knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, Does this offend you? What and if ye shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit, and they are life. But they are. Verse 60 through 63. Even Jesus' disciples were offended by such talk, but Jesus explained that he was talking spiritually. But there are some of you that believe not. For Jesus knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should betray him. And he said, Therefore I say unto you, that no man come unto me, except it were given unto him of my Father. From that time many of his disciples went back, and walked no more with him. Then Jesus said unto the 12, Will ye also go away? Then Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? Thou hast the words of eternal life. And verse 67 through 68. To whom shall we go may refer to transferring allegiances to another rabbi. Life. And we believe and are sure that thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus. Verse 69. Peter's confession of Jesus as the Son of the living God anticipates later references to Jesus being set apart for God. In the Old Testament, God was called the Holy One of Israel in Psalm 71:22. Jesus answered them, Have not I chosen you 12, and one of you is a devil? Verse 70. This is the first reference to the 12 in John's Gospel. He spake of Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon, for it was that should betray him, being one of the 12. Verse 71. Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon, likely was only non-Galilean among the 12. In this chapter, we have one essential Christian truth, and that truth is on Christ as prophet. As one of his offices, Jesus fulfilled the role of prophet. He also alone is the ultimate teacher and has the words of eternal life. Jesus is also God's ultimate revelation of himself.